all three words said for all. That's the name of our studios. To those that don't know, take a seat, Tim. You're blocking my further exit. Take a seat, Tim. There's loads of chairs because we invited the people from downstairs to come up, and they may or may not. So, episode 14, I'm not walking the beach. It's just on a dog as well, so dead. It's sleep.
We should always have. Always quiet.
Danny Cruickshank, the all know by now, author of Soho, still for sale, and shop downstairs. And Tony Shrimplin, I co-hosted it from the museum and Soho. Today we're doing churches and religious building.
Yes, the churches sounds a little bit daunting, but only because they offer in their way a very particular window into the social life of Soho. The mixture of communities have come and gone in Soho from, I suppose, the late 17th century, and so it starts getting built in a consistent, coherent way from the 1670s. So that's why. Oh, and the richness of the churches are amazing, aren't they? It could be obviously Hindu, you have mosques, Catholic, Anglican Christian, Hare Krishna Hindu, yeah. Arriving at different periods, but we're going to start in a rather predictable way, aren't we, with the kind of the arrival of the Anglican Church, because it is quite a big arrival, because it's a very simple point to make about Soho. Soho is quite a new place. We basically Soho feels to the 1670s. When Soho Square is built from the 1670s, I won't go over this, we've done this territory some weeks ago, but essentially that's the beginning of the urbanisation, what we now know as Soho. And people flood in. And because people flood in, a new parish is created. It was part of the huge parish of St Martin's in the Field. And it was carved out of that parish as people moved in the 1670s. So St Anne's Church was built. So that was our starting point, really.
Right. Say they're in school.
Yeah, well, it's St Peter's School, isn't it, actually? St Peter's School, does it?
Is that out? Different. Okay.
They've graduated.
Okay, and St James's, wasn't it? St James's.
Well, it was okay. Well, what is amazing is survival again in its own way. It is in the urban village of Soho, which seems like a cliche, but it's true. It's in Soho. A primary school, which is brilliant.
And the churches had quite a part to play in setting up some of the schools, didn't they?
They did. Oh, so the Anglican Church, and also the Catholic Church. So we're looking at various churches. Just that boundary, that for those that missed us, it's the boundary of St James's Wardour Street, north-south boundary, St James's to the west.
Absolutely correct. I mean, we're going to have some images and a map that makes that point in a moment. We show a map of the parish of St Anne's, which is the heart of Soho, as created in a map in 1690. So it's a parish. When St Anne's started in 1677. And when it's completed in 1685 and 6, the parish is created. And of course, the architect, Franklin Talman, working with, to a degree, Christopher Wren. It was a major building, but we have images of all that. Yeah, in a moment. Play images. Yeah, let's do some images. Well done for thinking. Well, St Anne's. Interestingly, the tower, different. When it was built, money was an issue, as always is, and the tower was a little bit rickety. It got rebuilt in 1801 by a man called S.L.P. Cockrell. And Tony, you inhabited this tower. Sorry, we should say the church was bombed, and the tower alone survived after 1941. So this is an early 19th century image of the church as it was by Wren and Talman, the tower added. You lived in that tower, didn't you? Yeah, the collection was up there for the museum for a good 30 years, yeah. Ironically, I could never get right to the very top.
We had a wonderful story, but there's a clock, of course. But if we look at this thing, it's so much of that kind of inventive neoclassical spirit of the early 19th century. I say to you, Sir John Soane, the great exponent of this rather reinvigorated abstracted classicism. This big Cockrell, good architect, it's a very strange device. If you look at brick with some stone, kind of referring kind of to Roman architecture of the dead. Okay. So sarcophagus type images there. But as you go higher up, it gets bizarre. I mean, you have this, at the very top of the clock, this kind of drum, and you were talking about the tower being referenced to barrel.
Yeah, which I've never been able to find. I don't know if I'd made it up, but because there were breweries in Soho, and because they funded the church, the building of the church, or helped to. Yeah. Supposedly, the clock faces are two barrels, like beer barrel type shapes. Yeah,
weird product placement of the. Well, but there we go. Anyway, it survives. It's an amazing piece of work. The other image, by the way, just to say, the bombing of this church in the museum, you have wonderful images of the church just after being bombed. It's 41, and it was a serious bombing. I mean, a lot of not just the interior largely gutted, but the walls also fell down. But before that, one forgets what a dominant role it played in the growth of Soho as an urban feature. The great classical city. You go to Rome, or Paris, churches, closed vistas, and it was the case here. This is Romilly Street, looking. They said I see on the east end,
which would have been Church Street. That
was Church Street, and you would have seen this what's now Cambridge Circus. It was a major terminal feature. Obviously, this is after 801 because there's a Cockerell Tower, but this was Talman Wren, this pedimented East End closing, this long view, really important, bit of
Regent design.
Is this Regent? Well, the tower. Yeah,
no, I mean the period. No,
yes, but this is in the 1820s, isn't it? But it's so sad, and of course, Tony, you live here. Well, what replaced it? I mean. It became a bomb site, then became a car park for years. I remember that. And now houses. So, but the glorious thing of this as a very urban feature of the classical city. So I did have monumental moments, that was wonderful.
It shows in black and white photos, but of course the bit, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, Renton.
And also the next image, so another one, oh dear. Fun enough, the buildings on the right survive with that canted bay, that's still there. The one on the left have gone. The next one shows you, slightly grim, but the interior, I think that against architecture speak, this isn't it, but you think the Great Wren projects of rebuilding the city churches after there's a great fire. This was kind of part of that. It's possible the Basilica plan, Roman Basilica, so central space with the nave, the aisles each side, the galleries. It was a terrific building, Well,
of course, they're all gone.
Well, the next picture is very haunting. This is from your collection. Tell me, we did that thing earlier in the year about a museum. I didn't realise the nature of the destruction, and it was terrible. But also, that's, by the way, looking back, isn't it? That's looking east along Romilly Street. There's the Canted Bay building on the left. You get wonderful monument, this Solomaic column surviving the bomb blast. I don't know. You can't see who it was too. It's all wonderful, late 17th century.
And there's one missing. If you look on our website, there's a whole article about one of the actual monuments that have vanished. No one ever. It's probably some architectural
something amazing.
And I think if you see the next shot, you get a better idea of
the next shot. What is the next one?
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry. Just to say, going back to Joel's point about the parish, how Soho is formed by the creation of this church. So. We go on to the next shot of that map. This is 1690. Look at this map of the parish of St Anne's. There's a church, of course. So when the parish is created, when the church is completed in the mid-1680s, the parish is very curious. It's carved out of the massive parish of St Martha's in the Fields, which, of course, survives. Of course, the King's Church and Father Square bit stretched for waves to north and west. And of course, Buckingham Palace is still in the parish of St Martha. It adjoined the parish of St Giles. More that made in a minute. And there you see, St Anne's was defined very strictly by Wardour Street, which was here on the left. Wardour Street being older than Soho, it's a very ancient, Coleman Edge Lane, very ancient, medieval route. That became the parish boundary. To the west of that, complicated, was St James's Westminster, also created out of the parish of the Field. At the same time, St James's Piccadilly, the church survives by red. That was St James's parish, new parish, then St Anne's parish, and then the old parish of St Giles, as it says there. So Soho was quite small. Soho was only essentially, the area between Wardour Street and now Charing Cross Road, called Holgrade at this point, with Soho Square and Squidder Street, very formal classical city. And you see there was Church Street. There's a church, and that the vista you got terminated by the end. It's a terrific. But what's interesting, he's spoken about this, but the way in all great cities, the traces of things that are left behind, they're slight but terribly inspiring. So if you walk around the street, you'll find the evidence of this parish boundaries. You'll find the evidence of the parish of that. And because the next slide is isn't it? If you go back to the foreheads and look at them, well, it's into 1812. So what happened is that parishes were local government. They weren't just spiritual; they were how the city worked. The local government on the face of the parish system. So the aldermen raised taxes and governed lighting, policing, and cleansing the streets. And from time to time, they'd have paving schemes, local taxes. People who lived in the parish would pay it. This obviously commemorates a local paving act of 1812. And I suppose the streets were paved, the lighting was reorganised, and bollards went in. So this is just off Dean Street, just in the parish. Then you got this little indication, and then
I was going to say, no, would that have been would they be the cannon heads?
No, these are cast iron bottles, but they're inspired by. I suppose it is true after the Napoleonic War that the thousands of redundant cannons, and then used at the bollards. So these bollard designs are inspired by the cannon, but they're not. They're made. This one's St James's. So if you go across the other side of Wardour Street, the parish of St James's, Westminster, you'll find bollards there. St James's, Westminster, a bit later, 1820.
To find the actual church you mentioned already.
Yeah. No way.
We're trying to keep within the borders, so a quick reminder, Coventry Street on the south, Regent Street, Charing Cross Road in Oxford Street. So we are going to touch on a couple of religious buildings that are out of the border.
We should move forward. Yeah, because we got it. These are Anglican. We're talking today's about the communities and people reflected by the different churches. So they could Anglican. How do you think about the clock?
Yes, the lovely, beautiful picture by Sheila Ruskin, the rainbow.
After that,
you can see the blue and gold. Yeah, there. So that's the clock's wound 3 times a week because there was a push to get it automated. But the thing is, if you get them automated, people never go up there and they're never looked at and they fall into disrepair. So it's wound 3 times a week. The museum team does the Wednesday wine and sometimes have guest winders as well, celebrity.
And there's a the bell from Whitechapel.
Yeah, that's from the Whitechapel Bell Foundry, which also did Big Ben and the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia.
The name, a terribly contentious subject of the developers of it.
We talk about the Whitechapel Bell Foundry. Yeah, it's just. Is that a hotel now?
Yeah, they pulled out the whole thing catastrophic. Anyway, that other story, another story.
I feel like read in.
Well, shall we just
just one little bit? That's a clock. I think. It's another photograph. There. So that's the clock mechanism, and I think if we just quickly push on to the next photograph. Yeah. So to say. It was restored in 1979 by the late Mike McCoy, as part of the Queen's Silver Jubilee. So what's it? This on the clock me. Oh, okay. And Mike McCoy, he must have been his assistant, I would assume, yeah.
It's a hell of a piece of kit.
It's beautiful though, isn't it? I mean, it's actually now in case.
Yeah, they're balancing. Once I went up the down Elizabeth Tower, Big Ben is in Parliament, and it was interesting. So that kind of metric from the Lickline Centre to the lot of pennies stacked up to balance it. I mean, the balancing of the mechanisms is, 1 penny make all the difference between Big Ben being, the clock being on time or not on time. This one I presume the same.
It's exactly the same, and it's only out within but 1 or 2 minutes. No, not in seconds actually, because if I've got the world service and I can hear it. It's really accurate.
Any question you might have, Dean Banks? So it's in one of these section marks.
Yeah, but he to his failure or when he had a point where obviously they had to decide whether there was going to fall down
and the damaged part will actually be restored because there was seemingly enough, maybe, or a good point. I mean, it was, of course, pulled down, but I thought more had survived the bombing. I thought more as a gut job than the shell survived. The pictures in the museum make it clear.
It's only the tower really that survived, and then the rest was the car park. And then it wasn't until the Soho Society actually, and the SHA, Soho Housing Association, we developed it, built the community centre, and built the social housing in the last year.
Got circular housing. And you're right, as far as I mean, in this book I talk about there was a big debate about rebuilding the part of the war. To rebuild, not restore, but rebuild the missing part, because it was, I've been seen a major social, artistic part of Soho. The church commissioners, typical of the 60s, same sort of authorities that were responsible for demolishing Chenard, the established authorities took the views of their own money, and that was a heroin. But can I say, this joke to people, any people who are not just to say about our idea of this churches and inside of doing the local issues that have been issued. We just go through them. You had the Huguenots there, the Calvinists, to come in the 1770s. And then we have Roman Catholics, of course, big story. A lot of Catholic churches, a mosque in there, it's free. Hare Krishna, which essentially couldn't be. There's a Chinese Christian church.
Yeah, it was just on the road.
What else? It's about French. Well, those are counted the French Protestants, and we don't have loads of synagogues. There was synagogue where the Soho's dealing was, but they don't have loads about. But yeah, look up, there's a lot of over pairs of plat. And brought it at Greek Street, called Greek Street, because there was a Greek church there in the late 17th century, and that then became a Huguenot church. And Hogarth's famous image of the 4 times of the day, 1732. He shows that church when it was a Huguenot church. Can we do film of the capacity? I have to go up to the main camera today. So it wasn't interesting. There's the church. We shot the Greek church. You have Greek Orthodox. At this point, 1732 is a French Calvinist church. And you see in the background this tower from Giles in the field. And Hogarth's most of his things had moral messages. And here it's sort of kind of showing the Huguenots, that these guys are making beautiful, when Spitalfields beautiful silver and beautiful precious metal object, mostly around about the base kind of in stereosity. Educated, exquisite people with taste, and opposed to rough Reggies and Londoners, and they get lots of kind of meat and food and stuff. So kind of the whole point about the Londoners, he was always very suspicious of the French Hogarth. So this goes, there's a message within it. In fact, essentially you're getting this little court in a moment. When we look at Rhodes Map of 1746, you'll see this on Rhodes Map. This was just off Greek Street, east of Greek Street, going on to Hog Lane, which is now on Charing Cross Road. So a great image of peripheral Soho in 1732 with this trick.
I have a question for you about St. Anne's. Is it with a D or without an E? Because I've seen it without a D these days. Sometimes without, and today just misspelling that the usual. Well, they adding bill both ways, and the top one isn't right or wrong, but generally St. Anne's is spelled with a D, but some early Prince de share that now not to send you out now. Yeah, so we're in now, but no, and then apostrophe. Well, yeah, was no apostrophe, but essentially it's an odd one, isn't it? This early usage of pastors S's for churches and marshalls in the fields fine. St. Clement's Day, easily. Early goes routine somewhere with an E at the end as well.
Yeah, I have seen that quite a bit. I didn't want to still quite lean for St. Anne's. Yeah, I think there's a lovely bit of information.
I didn't think.
Well, their musical, there's a gentleman called Noel Gay. That was around 1916. He was quite a child prodigy, and the age of 18, where he's the music master of and the organist at St. Anne's. But not only that, he actually wrote Me and My Girl, the musical, which I think was revived. Well, I went to see it in 1984. Stephen Fry sort of revised it. as a revival. That he also wrote hardback musicals, and so the Land of Claude.
Oh yeah, this
It's amazing, isn't it?
It was.
You could do it now. I'm sure people would come there.
We could do the Opie Cokie later.
yeah, maybe like
Roars don't do it.
musical history. So it was often.
Well, that takes us back. There's a record shop and violin maker shop. But that's another. Yes, another food.
William said, Andrew, some more live audience signers from downstairs and welcome.
Well, they're good because we've also talked about the parish church and parish school, Anglican school. Big throughout London, of course, because Anglican churches have church school. And in Soho, it's amazing.
And a nursery. I always remind them it was a nursery.
And a good building, too, with a lot of Derby on it. That's like, okay, so and we go to other churches, places of worship, we should say. But the Catholics are great.
Hit it around a bit, but I think we go to St. Patrick's. And
And if we haven't got Hugo,
Huguenot is that held high. The only way to do it
for practically
Ruffs and chronological, you get into this debate. I know our soundman has shut the door, but I think you might need to leave it slightly cut because you may get some more people joining. Don't worry. I did invite everyone.
which is they are big histories. So, okay, well, I'll tell you what they are, but they're big because they arrive. Remember, in a nutshell, they are Calvinists. They're Protestant, but they're Calvinist Protestant, and they are persecuted in their own land in France by the Catholic authorities, kind of galvanized by Louis XIV. And they are given the option of converting almost forcibly to Catholicism or fleeing. Yet to flee was a crime. Many fled. People gave up their lives, their professions, everything for their faith. And so a lot of Protestant Calvinists fled to Protestant countries. Many came here to Britain, Ireland as well. And London was a favourite place. And so Huguenots came, often with not much, in the late 17th century. Famous moment was the Edict of Nantes being revoked in 1685, and that is when being a Protestant in France became illegal. But the persecution started before that. The Dragonards under Louis, British soldiers were sent to live with Protestant families who torment them. This is in the early 1680s. Complicated story, but many come to this country, many settle in London. Those in Spitalfields become master silk weavers and create a really valuable silk industry. Invent it, create it, inspire it, develop it. Those who come to Soho are in precious metals, silver and so on and so forth. They bring French style to a country that the logheads of the French, but longs for French style. So really interested in it. And so they arrive in Soho in numbers in the early 1680s, just as Soho is coming out of the fields. And so they're a major component in terms of use and economy of the first manifestation of the urban fabric of Soho. And they settled around Soho Square, but mostly around Gerrard Street. Now, Tony has some stories. Of course, since these are people who fled their homeland and comfort for their religious convictions, churches were important. And the Anglican Church, they were accepted as Protestants, and they accepted the Anglican Church, which is interesting, very Catholic, actually, the Anglican Church in many ways. They accepted it as okay, so they would be married, for example, or buried in the Anglican Church, but they had their own temples, their own Calvinist churches, which they preferred to use. And there were several, of course, in Soho, and you've been researching them. The one everyone knows about now, Soho Square, is of the 1890s. Here it is. It's a weird building. It's very attractive. A man called Aston Webb was the architect. And it was essentially quite a community. It's a place where French Protestants, or Huguenots or Calvinists would gather and worship, and it also had some various sort of halls for more secular activity. That's the vibe.
What's the style of architecture?
Oh, it's all to do with Aston Webb. It's really annoying in a way. The style of architecture is nothing to do with Soho, nothing to do with the Calvinist faith. What it is Aston Webb's obsession about the eclectic style of the 1890s. So a mixture of Renaissance and Flemish, Flemish, and French late Gothic Virgil Renaissance with some weird Romanesque details. It's okay, but it's very odd. But nothing to do with the Soho that we all know and love, which basically here was late 7th century, or to do with the Calvinist traditions. There's so many interesting things about Calvinism. And, Calvinism, in a sense, oh dear, we are but shadows. They are, we are very Buddhist way, not materialism. Yet they created beauty in silk and in precious metal, and in architecture, therefore, in that sense, reflects very accurately in Gluckman. Yeah, all we have to do is be moral, make money, but do it honestly. Don't do the villain. Do it with love. Make a fortune, but do value something good still.
And we should point out that it's actually still working,
and it still is. Yeah,
that live in. Get the name.
And we last year we were involved in the Persona Collective. It's an immersive theatre production that they used all of Soho to do their show.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it? Also for lectures and meeting.
They used that out. We had Ladies of the Night coming out of the Spain.
Still?
No. So it's for the show. No.
Just in one. I'm not very neat, aren't they? And then you put it up in the basin. The variable behind which and all that's through detectors. Yes, the beach tunnel was just outside. In clips and catching. So that's that way. And I've got half.
But Tony has the other Huguenots. I mean, because of the Huguenot presence so important from the late 17th century, other temples. This was obviously difficult. This one's from the 1890s. There wasn't one there before. But there were obviously Huguenots.
Are we talking about St. Luke's?
Yeah.
Could we go to one there?
Yes. I think we're jumping over. I think we now find ourselves in Catholic land. But
you're St. Patrick's now. But
I think you had an image of St. Luke's.
Yeah, further on.
Yeah. We'll go back. That's a Huguenot chapel of the 1830s. The Catholic presence, of course, is unbelievably interesting. Do you remember, just a simple point, since the Reformation, the closing of the monastery of the villainous Henry VIII in the 1530s, Catholicism was outlawed. Essentially here, Catholicism was out universally. It wasn't until the late 18th century that there was a Catholic Relief Act of Parliament would pass. Catholic Relief Act, 1778. After that, the Catholics were still banned from public life. Couldn't go to university, couldn't be in the army, couldn't sit in Parliament. Lost of civil rights, terrifying, completely island. But it was possible to build Catholic places of worship in a discreet manner. Of course, you had in so the most extraordinary example of that. The church in Warwick Street, 1788, with the most amazing name. You've got it, the Immaculate.
But it is both Our Lady of the Assumption and St. Gregory Catholic. And it's a classic Soho, really in a way. You might have walked past this place and never known it was a church, but on Warwick Street, so right on the borders by Regent Street.
And the fact you wouldn't know the church was a point. They were permitted to build it because it looked like a church, it had to look like a house, pedimented. And it was a place of worship because before that, it had been part of the Portuguese and then the Barbarian embassy, both of which were Catholic. So they were permitted to have Catholic chapels within the embassies, and this is on the site of those. It's a extraordinary story. But after that, in the 19th century, the 1830s, Catholicism was kind of accepted. You then have this tremendous Catholic church. This one in St. Patrick's in Soho Square, which is 1891. Fun enough, it's the same date as the Calvinist opposite. It's terrific, isn't it? I mean, it's pure Italy. It's a conscious attempt, which was a successful evocation of the Italian style. And the Basilica.
And let's not forget, it was also the site prior to that of Carlisle House, the Soho Square one. And Fraser Cornelis, who will hopefully be having Judith Summers on later episodes to talk about that.
Because there's really, they created a whole shaking thing and they had to redo the whole word.
And let's talk about this in terms of the churches reflecting moments of history and community. So, who are the people that went there? 1821. So, of course, one of the great famous ways, and so the Italians seeking refuge here is the 1840s, 50s from persecution in what became Italy. So there's an Italian Catholic community in Soho, certainly from 1840. Irish Jew. St. Patrick, there's a quote from St. Patrick outside there in Latin talking about come here Christians who believe in the Roman Catholic faith. So you made it St. Patrick's quotes. And clearly, Italian Irish, if you look inside, it's in a remarkable place. So it's quite discreet on the corner of Soho Square, but you go inside it, long, deep plan. You do have an image of yours. It's pretty amazing in terms of the direct evocation of the Catholic chapels, side chapel, images of obviously the Virgin and various saints.
And amateur explore, because there's also you can find lots of different ways in the St. Patrick. So you've recently reopened the west exit off Soho Square, which is Sutton Road.
Yeah.
Head down Sutton Road, there's another way in at the back, side door. So they have lots of ways in. One of the best views of this, and to where I'm so of, is from the new theatre Soho Place. So the end of Sutton Road. If you go into Soho Place, you can see it's all been made of windows of domes very close to the brickwork. King has like about 2 feet away, so you get really up close. But I recommend that for a place to see it up close.
The architect was Franco John Kelly, the Irish, not well known. John Kelly, 1891 to 93. When were they thereabouts? Really interesting. And of policy, and here's a community, as I read.
The thing is just Australia in
The most dominant in a way is the outsider, but then there's another sensational cut. A lot of people don't know that Dean Deasley Wonderful, isn't it? You could talk about that. Mother Jean.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leicester Plague.
I mean, it's incredible.
But that should be coming up in a bit. I think.
But
this is the French.
This is South Aston Web, so this kind of great thing. But I think our next one is these are kind of these secret worlds.
Oh, here we are. Yeah, this is from 1820. So that's looking down. So if we were able to pan back and come to the present day, the Prince Charles Cinema would be just there.
5 Leicester Square, yes.
But yeah, so it's a bit grainy, this, isn't it? So yeah, 1820, that's from.
And look at you won't know it. Again, it's internal world. But I said that there was a whole series of barracks. There's a few chapels, Barrack Street, little Chapel Street. You mentioned these, and I'll show it. But anyway, the interior is beautiful. Absolutely, it really is astonishing. Do we have that picture?
We have there's the famous Jean Cocteau murals.
There's a Cocteau mural inside it.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I mean, if you haven't been to this church, it's got an oval nave. It's extraordinarily striking, and it's a very secret world.
So these were painted in 1950.
Yes, people spoke up to us and believed. Quite the story anyway.
Yeah, there is a story. Yeah, for another time. Yeah.
What else we have? We had some Barnabas.
Yeah. So sorry, Dan. Yeah. What's nice about? So we were on. I think we screwed up the chronology, but the thing about St. Patrick's, when it was closed for renovation, they went to St. Barnabas.
Yes,
to some of their services.
Services is quite sweet, which is important because St. Barnabas, behind what was the charity,
that was only grade 1 listed.
So that's St. Barnabas.
Yeah, a guy called Beckford built it in the 50s, made his fortune basically from slavery. From the 18th century, he had great plantations, sugar plantation, Barbados, so money came into the country. Then was used by the Metropolitan Board of Works in the mid-19th century. Mr. Bazalgette, the guy who built the sewers and the embankment, was there. Then it became this charity, St. Barnabas, for literally women to help all the poverty you can cover from their travel experiences. And that charity kind of goes on, but not quite in that direct way. And a chapel was built on the site of the Atypical stables. And it's called St. Barnabas, and it's 1869. But interesting about it, why St. Patrick's went there? Because it was an Anglo Catholic chapel. There was within the Church of England a reaction against the evangelical movement which dominated the 1830s, and expressed by Keble College in Oxford, Anglican Catholicism within the Catholic, English Catholic. Within the Anglican faith, there's a lot of Catholic potential for ritual and so on and so forth. And this became St. Barnabas, an Anglo-Catholic chapel, totally ritual and incense, image of the Virgin and so on and so forth. Which is why, of course, the Catholics would be attracted there. It's amazing little building if you see it go back, because it's a great expression of a fashion. No, I mean, architectural fashion has this period for the revival of the Romanesque or early Gothic, 1860. A well-known architect with these terrific bulbous sort of bays, which are the Bearers Chapel.
It's supposed to be inspired by a French.
Yeah, there's a specific
in Arles.
Yeah, in Arles. I mean, so the survey says it's a specific, rather obscure, particular kind of post 12th century French chapel. Joseph Clark, the architect. It's a brilliant piece of work, isn't it? I mean, very striking, but
and even inside, it's really pretty. And I think when actually Soho Parish School had their all nativity plays in there. I remember when my dad went there, they did her.
The classic first true house they on and from Nanette Street. Nanette Street, known for having those put it high up in the England, really cheap had to price the one, it's called a necessary. And no fact there that's the hard castle and most things that it's known that. But what's interesting, they just pretty much opened the building next door, which you see here to the west, and it's been refurbished. And didn't they approach you, the architects approach you without doing the fires?
Oh, well, I suppose broadly speaking, yes, but that was some sort of foiled engineers, but also next to it was this amazing material. This what was a work out. A big mid-18th century building by architect James Paley. So this is the architect. And she got one of the work, still there.
I think art, an example, artist counts.
Yes, artists really hated work. Oh, this isn't. It's glorious. Glorious.
I mean, you can't really get an idea with that picture, but when it's lit by everything and it's in colour, it's going to do that. Mistress counts.
Now, other streets in place of worship we've mentioned before, Barrack Street, the street market, which was a wonderful street, particularly. It became a very Jewish street, actually, in the late Jewish community moved in, as in Whitechapel, has been escaping persecution in their homeland. Russia dominated, Glorious dominated Poland in the 1880s to Poland. Whitechapel, many of them, all courts of engineer, but also significant Jewish community here. And that was centred in Barrack Street, the market, steam market. Yiddish was a common language in the late 19th century there. And also, it was, interestingly, it is now home to Soho's only mosque. You see it?
Oh, there's lamps there on, yeah.
So, what is the story of why? How long was it been?
There's speed to find out what year, but maybe around 2012, and it's Sunni.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a community centre as much as a place of worship. I take it. Yeah. So and have you? I mean, free other Renaissance, haven't there? So there it is. So we have it. So that's kind of recent Islamic presence. So you have the synagogues must date back either from the kind of Jews invited back by Talmud in the 1650s. So it could have been the mid-17th century. Most of these synagogues are the Russian and Polish Jewish families. Yeah, why do it that well?
I know about synagogue because someone who's worked with his grandparents were married there. So I only known about it. What the Cody reminded me was there on the Soho bit.
So I think we should have a photograph of that,
which told us a bit more about it.
There's this functioning synagogue in Soho,
not now.
No, but you said he got married. Where did they get married?
In Dean Street, where the Soho Theatre is now. And was that? No, that's St. Luke.
That's cool.
We're out of chronology.
But so that there isn't a synagogue in Dean Street now.
No, that's at the site of the Soho Theatre.
Right, but they got married in the theatre.
No, how in prior to it being.
But there was the synagogue was there in London.
Yeah, no, I got the one.
It'll be one of your last ones. Well, it's Hare Krishna.
Hey,
You get that. Does that make sense? This is and the next one will be the.
And okay, on this site, so people who are not visual, on this site stood the West End Great Synagogue, being part of the Soho Jewish community through 1880 to 1996. So then says it part of certainly a fine new view. A sanctuary of friendship. We'll tell you 10 minutes a bit more about it.
But my question survived. They did, but there isn't totally no synagogue open to no. But now, I'm saying no. I think the nearest one was over the other side. It's the West End Synagogue, is it? It's not particularly British. And to to throw, it's right a bunking.
Maybe they took the name of West End Synagogue, went to it there then, and just tapped the name on it.
So great Cruickshank Street. So yeah, my name now.
we did escape back to
sorry, we just posted out saying at a lots of club, and on was here for that. This is what we're calling
the Lost Church. Well, this is St. Luke's, which is another, again, the Huguenots had lots of church. So that would have been, but that is Berwick Street. But that, Kemp House, where all the new developments of if you go to the market, where all those new places are. So that's where this church would have been. So that's Berwick Street, and then the back of it would have been Hopkins Street.
By the way, terribly artificially ambitious, because this is kind of Gothic for the 1830s before the archaeologically correct Gothic revival a few years later. By a guy called Edward Law, a leading architect. He was commissioned a year or two later to complete and remodel it in Buckingham Palace after John Nash's death. So he was there as one of the kind of as the architect of the Regent Park of the man of the royal family. Law, curiously, of course, the Law does lots of work for Buckingham Palace, and as indeed that's the web later on, the architect of the Calvinist Church of the weird in Paris. These front of Buckingham Palace, as you now know it, by Aston Ware in 1914, the architect of the Huguenot Church of Elsewhere. This would Law, also an architect of the royal family, do this Gothic revival. But it was a kind of Gothic revival. Well, he'd be a classicist one day and Gothic the other day. I didn't want quite a long way to build. A lovely building, isn't it?
And it wasn't actually demolished until
836, as I said. No, 36 in it.
Below the demolition, which is unusual. Where churches may or may not know are the biggest landowner in the country, mostly followed by the network rail to under station. So it's never was a new. And then Kemp House is 17-story, so that was Soho's hides a little bit. If they don't know, the street tower worked in Soho, Ingress to Place, Kemp House, and William Blake House. Anyway, so that's the place for 70 cars, which does get a lot of people in housing mines for stone. But then some Mike's horses, and what's that little animal there next to the hall? It's a perfect little baby's dogs. And that would have thought.
Was there something in between that Gary and Kemp Hampstead?
Well, there must have been, and I think it'd be say mid-30s just obviously. The Kemp House on it later. So what was the angle in the 60s? So yeah, there was still some. We haven't. They're not. I
remember the market being started as it did start as a market, but very extreme market with people just selling stuff off the pavement and not stores. So.
Steve market. We've got another show on markets, and okay, well, we're going to go over a little bit today because we started a little bit late, but we have the Hindus. We still need to, was it? Right, and could have
the growth map show 46 favourite now. Yeah, I'm intrigued because I showed you the
this is the whole bit. Well, yeah, this is St James Square listing crop and we can't think. To the golden square up there.
Well, the only point I can say is that Hogarth's image of the Greek church and then the Huguenot church, remember Hogarth's image shows it because here, there it is, that is the church, Greek Street, that whole lane or chamber there. That is that image shown by Hogarth. There's the church. He showed St Giles Church just up there. It's quite interesting. You can place Hogarth quite specifically. And his cartography is correct, if you show that. So this is Soho in fully urbanized in 1746. I man called it John Roker's yacht. It's terrific, that for London. The last thing is the arrival of the Harry Krishna. I mean, I think this is can do because honestly, it's so Krishna Dolo. He's Vishnu, so he's on the three great god. They've been there since the 70s.
1977. We go to the next picture. You see the building, so it's Govinda's.
Yeah, they made a restaurant. It used to be called something else, didn't it? What used to be called
Govinda.
Yeah, the first layer was something like
like the In and Out thing and something. Yeah.
We eat happy. Yeah.
There's nothing for there. They do a lot. We would call chores around them, and
well, when they first tried, it's interesting. They changed their tune over the years, I should say, because when they used to be just acoustic, right? Now they've gone electric, and it's a different thing. And I should point out that they had a little help from their friend George Harrison, who actually had maybe not so much with that. They say that, but if you get different stories, but he gave them the manner that he had for their temple. But yeah, it's around 77. But there was a particular guru, wasn't there? This is I'm not going to try to pronounce the name.
Because you can't convert to Hinduism. You put balls and put into a cast. You can convert to Catholicism. You can fall to Islam and actually convert to even Kanye. You believe it's tenor. But these guys, it's proselytizing. So I'm quite sure what you're meant to preaching peace and love, isn't it? But I do that as opposed to actually being curious.
But by the way, the restaurant, it was called Healthy, Wealthy and Wine. That's right. First one.
Yeah. So as a Hindu level, but what will tell us in the end, ways of different people coexisting. I say I'm slightly taken about every Jewish community not having a synagogue in operation, but they were such an important part of the late 19th life here. It's also
and very extreme market.
Yeah, that became. Very true. Well, I write about a lot because it was such a wondrous place in the early 20th. People going there because it was just another world. Things we now take for granted, such energy, pasta from South Italy, you wouldn't get it anywhere else. You get it there. Cloths and fabrics and food and so on. It was very famous and largely partly mechanic and the Jewish amalgamation. Barbarously. That was the centre of it. Go on.
I think he's gone, but then it's also been placed in a brilliant film. If anyone's thought do that, quite a lot of Ferrick Street and the shops like Gosh and these kind of amazing shops.
The comic book shop.
Dream Supreme to get only Supreme in the world, and you queue up. It's got this youth culture, and there's places like the Breakfast Club that queues for hours, and there's a new one that's the burger joint, but just so folded to sunbed, and they queue for hours. So that's kind of the new.
Well, that's good. And I suppose what we say is all of those diversities and the activities continues to make so the thing we love, that it be more that can be done to has been done into by consumers and so forth. But this one having this existence, and we meet and we try to protect.
Well, what encourage? Why we keep calling it a village? It's London. But why it's a village is because we have our local places of worship. We have our local pubs. We have our market, local shops, and most importantly, actually, our local school. If we lose that integrity, then I think the whole village collapses.
And all right,
and what we're here to do as the museum is to say and remind people that there is a residential community. They're not everyone's not a millionaire here. Yeah. They're just normal Londoners,
and they're living in the society. And after that, they're active. Absolutely. I mean, that is the whole point. We love these things. They don't survive by themselves. You have to fight for them.
And I don't have a lot of faith in things when they're called conservation areas. When takes an act of Parliament, and then we get Crossrail. I mean, Crossrail's a mixed blessing. Yeah.
it's great to get out of Soho to get to Whitechapel really quickly for a good curry. But it brings this, we've lost the Astoria. It brings another set, and you all rather timid, but it brings a whole other set of problems, which we're ready to face.
Well, it's true. It makes it too accessible. That if people are worried about consumers and people coming in that not quite know why they're here, there's a great channel of people. That I don't mean this to sound awful as it sounds in a sense, but you've got to protect it. I mean, what I'm saying is, a wonderful quote to this book from the late 19th century saying exactly the same thing about it being an artist's refuge and not that need to be threatened and into into many people coming here. It is true about the way places survive and funnels people in. It necessary. Not be it.
That's the whole night. So just because we have to wind up on some of the street spiels, that maybe Tim's brought a collection and Tim, is your first time at ND.
It's just absolutely, I'm really pleased you're doing it. It's absolutely what the Soho starts the backing from to say when you visit Soho, think about its history and heritage, because there's so much. But in Soho Square, it's had 1 to 5 entrances since 1670. We've knocked back, we've really had to fight. 2 big canning applications. They just wanted to put new entrances into Soho Square. Now, put in pedestrian entrances, but like large-scale walkways in the north east corner and the the northwest and the southwest corner. But this is Soho Square. It doesn't. You can't.
Enclosure and intimacy is part of his character.
Yeah,
from the start, and well considered for it.
One of those applications was recommended for grant by the council officers. Now we observed it round, but it was very close, and there might still be in the people. It's not loved by people whose job it is to protecting it,
which is why the Soho Society in Soho. So then to the north,
the 20th century Fox was the first one. Yes, about 5 years ago, so pre-COVID day, but there's a campaign set out,
and they drew the application at
Merrill Reynolds to come, and that was an insurance firm from Royal London, and they were trying to develop, and they also sort of signed down the truck sending, then it electrifying of it. And the second one, recently,
that's a development through from go on Dean Street into 7 Soho Square. We'd have lost the unlisted 7 Soho Square immediately adjacent, which is Deco, isn't it? Yeah, but it's Deco, 1929. Prior to that, Trotters.
That's next to Trotters, with the great pioneering, but when warehouse from military stuff in the Punnett War then became a pioneering department store.
Listings isn't, listing is a very strange art.
You can get consent. You get consent to the monarchy people before.
Do you need to wardrobes are listed? Like the 1930s, those 20th century house isn't listed as an unlisted proven mayors. And it's a shame.
But house sitting on Soho's only grade 1 next to that corner, top of Freak Streets, the sea.
Not in mind on that one. On that one, though, by the way, the symbol as a chapter, your notes, I was about, was amazing. They ran out of cash in the 1860 building it.
Oh, they are so.
Can I probably said they sold off the book. I tell you this one, that was the way to do it.
And we must, some buttons are selling.
Ever was to get out powder.
Because that's a lovely lamp with that. Okay, so Culture Streets shows ways I produced and God, if you remind me, is not pubs, we done pubs. It's not, I think it's near, which is very sweet. The clubs, right, or the clubs, in it books, or okay. Well, I'm hoping you'll all be back, thanks to Kingham Coach Shop TV. We've been with the Soho, only in the Soho history out of the Soho Museum. Any questions will be in the bar after. I'll be the bar. Is it you haven't got a license yet? That's what I wish we did, but no, absolutely not. But there's lots of stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.